All right, today we're going to dive into one of the most ambitious and detailed plans for the future you've likely never even heard of. We're talking about a complete blueprint to transform a single island, Minjerribah, into a self-sustaining, high-tech, and totally regenerative society.
This one sentence, this is the North Star for the entire project. This isn't just about building a couple of new businesses or some shiny new infrastructure. No, the goal here is a complete shift in thinking, a whole new model for how a community can thrive. It's a vision for what the source material calls civilizational uplift.
So how in the world do you even start to tackle a goal that massive? Seriously, what does it actually take to build the future on one island? Well, the answer, as we're about to see, is a blueprint with an almost unbelievable level of detail, connecting absolutely everything, from the economy and technology to culture and the law.
Okay, let's start with the big, grand vision. The people behind this plan call it a civilization of sand. And that name is perfect, because it's this really cool idea that's both poetic, but also super practical. The plan is to build a future, literally, from the island's most common natural resources. So the core idea here is to create a totally self-sufficient, closed-loop system. Just imagine using the island's super high-grade silica sand, which is a legacy of its old mining industry, as the raw material for advanced manufacturing. Then you power the whole thing with new, bladeless tidal and wave energy that works with the environment. And here's the most important part. You make sure all the money and value that's created stays on the island to benefit the community, using something called a sovereign wealth fund. Think of it like a community-owned piggy bank. It's a model where every single piece is designed to support every other piece. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. They're planning to value more than just money. They're introducing something called the braided economy. Basically, it weaves together the normal cash economy we all know with a new type of digital value called the community hour, or C-hour. This is a way to finally measure and reward all that essential work that people do for the community and the environment. You know, the stuff that usually goes completely unpaid.
Look, a big vision is great, but you need a real plan to make it happen. And this is where the detail just gets wild. This blueprint isn't just some vague idea, it's a concrete plan for an entire ecosystem of 10 interconnected, specialized companies, all built to work together.
And this just shows you the sheer scale of the ambition here. We are not talking about a couple of little startups. We're talking about everything from Aura of Intelligence, a medtech company working on platforms for dementia care, all the way to a company called Sandworm that's focused on advanced underground construction. You've got an AI developer, a clean energy company, and even a project to build a full digital replica of the entire island in a video game engine so they can use it for planning. I mean, each one of these is a major high-tech venture on its own.
So, you've designed this incredible 10-company ecosystem. Now, for the really tricky part, who's going to work there? How do you find, train, and manage every single person you need, from locals who have lived there their whole lives to world-leading experts from overseas? Well, turns out the plan has an answer for that, too. Meet Setco. And let me tell you, this is not your average HR department. The Strati Employment and Training Company is designed from the ground up to be the central human capital engine for the whole project. Its entire job is to find, train, and place all the talent needed across all 10 companies, making sure that the local community, especially the Quantum Oka traditional owners, are the first in line to benefit from all these new jobs. Now, here is a concept that I think really sets this whole thing apart. The core mission for a company like Setco is something they call overcompliance. This isn't just about ticking boxes and meeting the bare minimum legal standards. It's a whole philosophy of proactively going above and beyond those standards in every single thing they do, from workplace safety to data privacy. It's all about building trust by aiming for the highest possible standards.
So what does overcompliance actually look like day to day? This slide gives some perfect examples. So instead of just meeting the basic safety standards, you go for an international ISO certification. Instead of just paying the minimum wage required by law, you offer better benefits and leave. And get this, instead of just following privacy laws, you build systems that give people true control and ownership over their own data. It's about setting a new, much higher standard for everything.
Okay, so you've got 10 cutting-edge companies, a central hiring engine, and a mission to over-comply with every rule. How on earth do you manage the insane legal complexity of all that? Especially in a place like Australia, which has one of the most complicated legal systems in the world. Well, the answer, maybe not surprisingly, is technology. Here's the problem. Any single thing you want to do on Minjerribah, whether it's hiring someone, putting up a building, or launching a new product, doesn't just fall under one set of rules. It falls under a complex, overlapping maze of 3 different legal systems. First up, you've got Commonwealth law. That's the federal stuff that covers big things like corporations and privacy. Then, layered on top of that, you have Queensland state law, which handles things like workplace safety and environmental rules. And finally, you have the local Redlands City Council laws, which includes this incredibly detailed plan that dictates pretty much everything you can build and where. It's a total tri-jurisdictional nightmare.
And this slide really drives home the challenge for any normal person. Each of these legal systems has its own website, its own rules, and its own way of organizing things. And none of them talk to each other. So to answer one simple question, you might have to manually dig through 3 different complicated government websites, trying to piece all the rules together. It's basically an impossible task to do quickly and accurately.
So what's the solution? You build an AI for it. Specifically, a custom legal AI known as a RAG LLM. The best way to think about it is like a super intelligent librarian that has read, understood, and perfectly cross-referenced every single law and regulation from all 3 of those systems. It's designed to give you fast, accurate answers to really complex legal questions, which makes that goal of over-compliance not just a nice idea, but something you can actually achieve.
So we've got the vision, the companies, the people engine, and even the AI to manage the rules. But how does all of this actually move from paper into the real world? Let's check out the step-by-step plan to get it done.
Before a single thing happens, the plan is absolutely crystal clear on this point. The first, foundational, non-negotiable step is to build a sovereign partnership with the traditional owners, the Quanda Mocha people. The entire project is built on a foundation of real co-design, mutual benefit, and deep respect for their rights and culture. This isn't some afterthought. It is quite literally step 1.
And starting from that solid foundation, the path forward is a really clear multi-year strategy. Year 1 is all about getting the basics right, making that partnership with the Quanda Mocha official, setting up all the companies legally, and going after initial grants, especially for that highly credible medtech project. Then Year 2 is the pilot phase. You launch some smaller projects, start clinical trials, and use that early progress to get more funding. By Year 3, the goal is to take all that proven success to the government and say, look what we've done, and get the support needed to unlock major investment and really scale this incredible vision.
And that brings us to the end of this deep dive. I mean, the level of detail in this blueprint is just staggering. From AI legal tech to new economic models and a step-by-step 3-year plan. It really leaves you with one final thought. When planning is this meticulous, this comprehensive, and this ambitious, what kind of future is truly impossible?